Hello sir, I'm going to introduce my mini project. Here, this is the login PHP. We try to register as a user. We enter the email and a password. Now we can log in as a user using the same credentials and we log in. We can update the details of this client. So let's say change the username as well and the email. We click on update, details updated successfully. We check in the user table and we find it here, Lena, the last one that we just added. Of course, you can search for medicines using filters. Here are the available ones. We can filter them out now. We can first try to add a new order. So let's try this one. Order placed successfully, and you can find it here. Now, to filter them out, we can use a class and maybe a minimum price. And then we click on search. This will only leave us with this one. So we place our order and it's placed successfully. The ID of the order is 21 and 22. We can find it here to make sure. Here they are for the ID of medication 19 and 1. Let's see in the medication table. Here they are 19 and 1, the paracetamol one. We can check also in the characteristic medication table where we find the ID of medication 1 and 19. The 19th one is by the pharmacy third one. We go to the pharmacy table and see the third pharmacy. It's called Pharmacy Nor. We're gonna try to log in there and see if we can find this order here. Log in. Here we can update the account just like we did in the users. Here we can add the medicines and we can see the list of orders received by patients. This is the one that we just did by the username nina@gmail.com. So we can also see the list of medicines and delete from it. We're gonna add a new one, name it pill 1 and just enter random details for now. And it's available. So now we add the medicine and we see it in the list where it is. We can also check here in the medicine table and here it is. Now we can go and just look at the code. This is the database connection. Here we created the tables. We used primary keys, auto increment only for the ID type of variables or columns. Here we're just in the columns of tables. We used foreign keys as well to reference other tables, especially in the characteristic table, because here we have to use the ID medication and the ID pharmacy to make both connections between these three tables. And here in functions PHP, we have all the classes needed for all of these. So in the database, we have normal video connections and execute, fetch single and fetch multiple, and get lost insert ID. This was used for medicines. Here we have the class user. We have all the things that we had in the table, same thing. And here we have the CRUD functions to load, update, and get user details. This is to show them in the client dashboard. This is the class of medicine. Same thing happened, load medicine or fetch multiples. Create a new one. This is for the pharmacists. And we used insert into to enter the new values for this medication in both tables, the table of medication and the table of characteristic medication, because we also have to make the connection with the pharmacy and the medication ID. Here we can also update it, delete, and get details. And this one was for the search by filters, using filters, the criteria. And it was practically the same work for the rest of the classes, just normal CRUD options. Here we have get generic orders, so we can show them. We used the join functions from the ordinance generic table with the medicament table on ID medication, and also we used the join between the characteristic medication and ordinance generic on the ID medication as well, to get the ID of pharmacy and see if it's disponible or not. And we used fetch multiple to do it for all of the IDs of medication that all the ID of orders that ordered this medication. Here's the class of characteristic medication, where we can just create and delete it. This is the login PHP where we use the select queries from the pharmacy table, where the pharmacy name and the password, if they are correct, we can just fetch the user and log in. This is if the login is a pharmacist, and here if it's a normal user. Oh, here we're still in the pharmacy, so here we can say that the credentials are invalid, and else meaning if it's not a pharmacist, we have to check the email and the password if it's a normal user, meaning a patient. And it takes them to the client's dashboard PHP, and here it took them to the pharmacist dashboard PHP. And this one was for the register. We used the insert into query to enter all these values into the pharmacy table. Or if it's not a pharmacist, we also used a register function using the insert into the user table with these values. But it's clearly the same method. This is the HTML where we put the forms. This is client dashboard PHP. The PHP is really short because all of the functions are already in the classes. So first of all, we have the the update for the user details. we just use the function to update data. This is it, update user. And here we can place an order by putting the ID medication and the quantity. And the user ID is the same that is logged in right now in the session. Of course, we started the session right here, and the user ID is the one in this session. This is the orders ordonnance générique to create to have the database table here and work with it to place a new order and add it to a new row. Here, this is the logout PHP. It's pretty simple. And the search medicine using the criteria of name, class, minimum, and max. And we, of course, use the function that we had already in the class. And that's all. We also use the fetch user orders to get all the orders by the patients. This is just the HTML, and we have same methods in the pharmacist dashboard where we can add new medicine, for example. We have the medicine name, price, and everything, and we just use the function create medicine that was already in functions PHP in the medicine class. Here it is. This is the create medicine one. So we just enter them in the form and use them here. And that's all for my projects. Thank you for watching.